So you're thinking about moving to Godley, Texas. Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of Godley. And if you stick around to the very end, we're going to tell you about the coolest spot in town.
And if this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to learn about what's happening in the real estate market, go ahead and hit that bell.
Welcome to the show. My name is Tom Jung.
And I'm Jack Lisenby.
And we are your local real estate agents if you're looking to buy or sell here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And we get calls every day from folks just like you. So whether you're a few days or a few months out, we would love to hear from you. Go ahead and give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. But yeah, today we are talking about Godley, Texas. Usually this is a place when I bring it up, people go, where?
Yeah, everyone's heard of it. Nobody really knows anything about it.
Yeah, and it really wasn't even, I feel like it wasn't on the map until they put in the Chisholm Trail Parkway from Fort Worth. And ever since then, it seems like it is exploding with new homes. So anyways, we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. And Godley, I guess, how would you describe Godley?
I would describe Godley as right in the cusp of its development, because it's been there a while, since like the 1800s, but like right now it has like 1,000 people. But there are so many people trying to move there right now because of how many cheaper houses are going up in the area. It's like a gold rush for real estate.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of like, and it seems to me it's like a blip on the radar. It's like when you're driving along on a road trip and you're like, was that a town?
I blinked.
Yeah.
My bad.
So anyways, cool. Let's kick it off with drive times.
Yeah, so Godley, for anyone who doesn't know exactly where it's located, it's not too far from Joshua if you've seen our other video, but it puts it about half an hour south of Fort Worth. It is about 30 minutes to the east of Granbury. It's only about 15 minutes from its sister city, Cleburne, and about 80 minutes from Dallas. So you're going to be driving about an hour 20 to get over to the other side of the Metroplex. And then lastly, the DFW airport is about 55 minutes away if you miss traffic.
I missed it. Did you? How long to Fort Worth?
To Fort Worth, it's only about half an hour to the city center.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and that's a big draw because Godley is very rural, so a lot of the homes are going to come on land, which is a big appeal here in Texas. So that's been, I think, one of the big reasons why it's exploded. Plus, land costs are a lot less expensive down there, so they're able to build cheaper, less expensive.
Both.
Less total cost. Anyways, all right. Next is schools. So obviously if you got kids and you're moving that way, you want to know how the schools are. And according to Niche, they are B+, so slightly above average. And this was kind of interesting. There's not a ton of data on everything, all the schools that they have there, but it ranged quite a bit from all the way from a C grade on an elementary school to, I don't know if there was any A ratings.
Yeah, we had
school?
Their middle school was
middle school. Okay.
A-.
Okay, all right. Middle school is crushing it. Yeah, so this is something that if you are looking to move there, you may want to dig a little bit further into the schools and see if it's something that you're comfortable with. I don't know if they have any charter or private school. I feel like it's too small.
No, I think the ones that they had listed for the city were actually in the surrounding cities. I know one of them was actually in Joshua.
Okay, yeah. So more than likely, they do have I know they have a couple schools right there in town, but there's a chance that you're driving a little bit to drop the kids off at school. And yeah, this kind of feeds into, talked about the pros and cons. If anybody's been following along with the podcast, Godley has had some issues with their politics and council and stuff like that. So I don't know that this is spilling over into the schools, but
entirely possible. Honestly, they're probably just dealing with the growing pains.
Yeah, true.
It's probably a lot of crunch all at once that they weren't expecting as a city.
Yeah, because I was looking this up before we did this, and there are 10 new home neighborhoods that are being built right now. Like, it's just a ton of growth in this small town. So anyways, activities. What have we got to do, Jack?
Well, there's not a lot, but the thing with Godley is that there's nothing in your way either. So if you're into things that take up a lot of sports or take up a lot of space, like team sports and things like that, there's plenty of open space for you to coordinate stuff like that. But like the biggest things that are actually like established in Godley are, if you're into bars, there's the Constance R Brandy.
Okay.
If you're into athletics and stuff like that. We have the Triple Cross Ranch with like equestrian and horseback riding activities, as well as the Godley Gym. If you are looking for something to read up on, some exhibits to take a look at, we have the Tempest Tours, which is actually based in Arlington, but they come down to Godley, and what these guys do is they're storm chasers.
I thought you were about to say, hey, here's a bunch of city folk coming down to see the country folk.
No, it's
this is how people live out here.
Some dystopian thing. No, they're based out of Arlington, but I'm going to mention them because they come down to Godley and other cities as well, but they chase tornadoes, and it's like a tornado tour.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
well,
I know.
I don't know. You look at
Texas
Godley.
is the only place where something like that can exist.
Yeah.
But so there's that, and there's also Godley Art from Godley, Texas, which is a small art exhibit off of one of the farm to market roads, and then there's the Aresti Aerodrome, which is a semi-private airfield. So if you're into like recreational flying, it's a good place to hang your vehicle at.
And Jack made all of that sound really good, but that's like everything.
That is literally more than everything.
There's not a ton. I know it actually. I've seen, just being down there, I've seen a lot of bikers. So like people that, I don't know if it's just like there's not a lot of traffic on those roads or what, but there's a lot of folks that bike down that way. And apart from that, yeah, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, I did put on my activity sheet, I put hunting, which there's not like a designated hunting area or like a lodge or anything, but it's Texas. We have white-tailed deer, nothing but open space down in Godley. Like, you could probably fire off a round in your backyard and no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, go get a BB
if they
gun
could hear it.
Hunt some squirrels. But yeah, okay. And then dining. So as far as Godley goes, there's a Sonic, there is a Palio's Pizza.
Yeah.
Palio's Pizza. That's what I was going for. And then Del Norte Taco, which I feel like is a staple down there. That, like, if people know about Godley, they're like, oh yeah, it has a Del Norte, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think the other famous restaurant is Chisholm's. Those are like their two big ones.
Okay, yeah. So there's really not much for dining, but yeah. Apart from that, did you have anything else before we hop into housing?
For dining, not really. There's a Bear barbecue, and that's about it.
Okay, yeah. So not a ton of options. Really, the best bet's going to be firing up that grill and cooking up your own thing. As far as activities and dining and that kind of stuff goes, you're not too far from Fort Worth, which has a lot, and then also Granbury if you go the other direction. So really, if you're looking for that kind of thing, you're probably going to be driving to one or the other. As far as housing goes, there's like we mentioned earlier, just a ton of new homes going up. And they range anywhere. The new homes are going to range anywhere from about $300,000 and up from there. I think most of the new stuff going up is going to be around $500,000 or so, and that's just because those are a lot of the homes being built are on bigger lots. They're going to be an acre lot or so. You may find half-acre neighborhoods. The homes you're going to find in like the $300,000 range are going to be like in your cookie-cutter subdivision type thing where you're on a quarter acre or less. And then there are some pre-existing homes out there. Most of the time they're ranch style, and maybe they've been out there since the 80s or whatever. So you're gonna have your lower ceilings and whatnot. But it's just kind of interesting. It's just like there's been some stuff built here and there, and then boom, everything's new. So anyways, that's about it for Godley. And we did mention, if you stick around, the hot spot in Godley is Del Norte Taco.
Yeah, this is why everyone knows it, and we're about to tell you.
Coming full circle, yeah. So they do concerts out there during the summer. I don't know if they do it during the winter, but I know it's already, well, I guess they do. Right now it's February, and they have concerts now, or March.
Well, yeah,
March, yeah.
It's Texas. It's basically summer at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be 80 degrees out tomorrow. But they do a lot of like Texas country folk. So Daryl Dodd, Corey Morrow's on the schedule. If you're familiar with like the up and comers, you may know who Grady Spencer is or Joey Green. So they have some decent names that come through. It's not just like Joe Blow's,
I bought a guitar for $30 at the pawn shop, and here I am.
So they actually get some pretty good, and I think it's like an open venue, so you can get food and drinks or what from Del Norte, and everybody brings lawn chairs out and that kind of thing. It's like that's
pretty
thing
cool.
to do in town.
Like the neighborhood block party.
Yeah, essentially on steroids. So that's a cool part of being a Godley. But anyhow, as always, if this was helpful for you, please do give us a thumbs up. And as always, we've got a ton of resources in the description below. So if you're looking for a guide on moving to Texas, or if you want to get in touch with us, we've got links for that. And then also, we've got a Move to Texas checklist. If you want to get emails sent directly to you, there's a link for that. There's a link for everything, really. So, and if our link's not on there, let us know. And if there's anything we miss in Godley, let us know. We love the feedback. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next video. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.